I feel uncomfortable. Wow. You ready?
Get your jacket, Dad. He do this every time.
Drummer Kings podcast. We back with another episode. We got some special guests, but we gonna get to them shortly. Holler at them, y'all.
Hey, man, Hot Thought Rob, Lil Rob, Baracko Boat, whatever you want to call me, man. Drummer Kings podcast. Happy birthday, happy heavenly birthday to my dad, man. You know what I'm saying? January 19th, man. Rest in peace to
Shout
my dad.
Shout out to Big Rob.
Big Rob, Lil Rob. You know the vibes, man. Hey, man. Ken, what's good, bro?
Drummer Kings podcast, man. It's your favorite host, Double Cup Ken. What it do? Happy to be here again. Hey, we got some guests on the great couch, man.
We do.
We got some guests,
man.
Finally, we got some guests. We gonna let them introduce themselves because they been here before. Not here, but they not new to this.
They not new to this.
They true to this.
Talk to us, ladies. Talk to us.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, we are the Cup of Conversation.
Hey.
I am one half Coco.
And I am the other half T.
Yes, and well, we here to have a conversation worth having because that's what we always do. So that's what we gonna do again right here.
That's how we come in.
Conversations
Fire.
worth
Let's do it.
having.
Yes.
Fire.
Okay. So, you know what? That was a bar. Coco and T, couple conversations. So, we talking about T like TEA?
Yeah.
TEA or TEA?
You picking up what we putting down.
Exactly.
Clock
that T. Clock that T.
It ain't too many people who understand that.
Yeah. Fire,
Talking about,
man.
hey, you know.
Well, we glad to have y'all. We appreciate y'all coming mess
Thank
with the
y'all
Drama
for having
Kings,
us.
man.
Yes,
Thank y'all for all the support. Y'all be supporting.
always.
and we,
For sure.
you know,
You know what time it is. You know what time it is.
We try to support everybody that's in the same space, you know, so.
Yeah, man, on this podcast journey, we trying to get some money like everybody else get some money. You know, they
and it's enough room for all of us.
It's definitely enough room.
It's hard work, right?
Definitely.
And I want to start with that.
Okay.
So I know y'all. So if I'm just give me a little bit of backstory here. Which one of y'all started, or whose idea did y'all come together and start the podcast, or was it like, you know, was y'all who's the, like? I mean, let's start with the basics. Like who?
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean?
So, I used to get mad when Coco said that it was like, this was T's idea, because I kind of felt like she was like, shit, I don't want to do this really. Like, she dragged me onto this.
Yeah.
But it was my idea. I feel like we always had good conversations when I worked with her at her shop. And we started as like, I was her employee. Like,
Right,
you know,
okay.
we started off as just like that was our relationship. We built it into a little friendship, and then we started the podcast, but we realized we didn't know that much about each other.
Yeah. Oh, really?
So it got a little.
I think I could. I could share those sentiments with one of my friends.
So y'all wasn't long
The
time
dark one?
No.
friends.
No.
Okay, I got you.
We when we met, we were not friends at all. We actually met through a mutual friend, well, one of my friends. And now that I think about it, she really wasn't your friend.
No,
per se.
she
was
was
just.
like dating. Like we
Clock
was in
that
like.
T.
No,
That's my girl. That's my girl. Nah, Messy.
It's not like that?
No,
Oh,
it's
nah,
not
we
like
just
that.
playing.
So no,
We love you, friend.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, it's not like that. But the friend that we met through was my friend for real. She's actually the godmother to my daughter.
Okay.
And she was
And
just
you know her,
dating.
Nisha. Shout out to Nisha.
Oh,
Yeah.
shout out to Coach
Shout out to
Nisha.
Nisha.
Shout out to
Coach
Nisha.
Nisha.
Shout out Coach Nisha.
Yeah,
And she was just dating somebody that was like, my boyfriend was cool with. So that's how me and her met.
Yeah.
And then she just introduced me to
Okay.
Coco, and then
And the rest is history.
So
rest
I mean,
is
cause
really
y'all been around for quite a while. I want to say I started following y'all like almost 2 years ago. How long have y'all been around?
We
It's
about
been
to
at
come
least
up
a
on
year.
2 years.
Okay, so it's been at least a year.
yeah, we
Yeah.
coming up on 2 years.
Um,
But before, well, no, did we restart the clock like when we rebranded, or did we?
No,
we've been counting since the comment
Yeah,
section.
we've been counting
because we
since
started off as the comment.
I know y'all
section.
rebranded from
Man, you-
the comment section. I
Yeah.
remember that part of y'all.
Yeah.
But now it's a couple conversation all the way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of crazy that y'all say restart the clock after the rebranding, because I was trying to tell my boy over here that you can't judge where you at one present time when everything matters. Consistency matters.
Yeah.
You know how often you doing this. So
Right.
no matter if you start and you've been going for a year, if you stop, you can't. You stop for 6 months and then you pick back up. You can't say, "Well, I've been out for a year and 6 months." You haven't.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You stop, so you gotta.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
all a part of the journey.
It's all
Yeah,
a part
it's
of
all
the
a part
journey.
of
You
the-
know,
right,
the
yeah,
clock
yeah.
gotta start over. You know what I'm saying? It's
So
Yeah,
when
but through our rebrand, we didn't really give it too much of a break. We just kind of like. Maybe we might have missed like 2 weeks on YouTube or something like that.
Right.
We didn't
Okay.
give it too much of a break. It wasn't like months.
It kind
okay,
of
I
was
got
a
you.
smooth transition.
Yeah, it was a smooth transition. We just thought that we outgrew the reason we started it, because to when we started it, we really just was going off of our conversations that we was having behind closed doors. Like,
Right.
we didn't really have like an audience we was trying to reach. We didn't have like a purpose or nothing. So I feel like the rebrand was necessary to kind of structure it some more.
Did y'all
Yeah.
feel like that y'all had a lot in common before y'all got to the podcast, even though you said that, you know, y'all really didn't know each other?
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to meet somebody and have good conversation over and over, but to do it in front of the camera, that's
Yeah.
like a big leap of faith. So what made y'all
Exactly.
want to take it to like and say, hey, this is, you know, while still trying to learn each other?
Yeah.
To be honest, it's funny that you said that, because when we got into podcasting, we got into it based off like, okay, we having good conversations. Like we kind of agree on a lot of the same things. Like we kind of had the same mindset towards some of the stuff that we talking about. But then when we got in the podcast and like was working together
Yeah.
and being and it went from, I think the change went from her working for me and us working together. It made
Yeah,
it
like
was a
a-
difference.
Yeah,
So it made
changed
it
the dynamic.
like a
Yeah.
commonality, or
Yeah.
it made
Yeah, I
us
got you, I
equal,
got you.
basically.
Yeah.
And so, not that I was more than her, but in
Yeah.
in reality I was, but as the position for itself. But I think when we got to each other level and we was like, okay, I really don't know you for real,
Yeah.
outside of
Exactly.
in this
Outside of the
working
shop.
Your work
environment.
ethic, yeah.
Yeah, and your work personality.
Yeah, yeah,
basically.
yeah.
My work personality is a lot different
Different.
from my real personality. Not that I'm a different person, but just because I know when I go in this space, I have to be X, Y, and Z. And when I
Yeah.
come home, I can be Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when
You
we
know?
sit
So
on
you-
these couches, we got to go through conversations week by week by week.
Yeah.
So now I'm knowing how she think about this, about that.
Mm-hmm.
Do we really agree? Because we thought we agreed on a lot.
Because you
but
can be a
like,
little bit more open and vulnerable
Yeah.
with each other.
So
Exactly.
let me ask you a question. Do y'all still work together like outside of the
No,
podcast?
No.
So now, is it hard to like do a podcast with your boss per se? Act for you, T.
I wouldn't think so, because like I respected her in the position that she held when she held it at the time. But anytime she would invite me to like, you know, her daughter's cheer competitions, dance competitions or something, I'd be like, that's my homegirl.
Gotcha,
You know,
okay,
like so
okay.
I respected her in the shop, and I did, you know, if she asked me to come help her clean up, you know, let's go clean up then.
Yeah.
You know.
But it
that's what
probably
we gotta
didn't even
do.
feel like a boss situation because y'all had started developing
Yeah,
that
yeah.
relationship.
Yeah.
And I
then,
think
so,
me naturally, like, I'm not like, oh, I'm the boss.
Yeah, that's not
I
her
never.
personality.
And it was to a fault too, because I
Yeah.
felt like that was kind of part of my downfall with business and having employees and stuff like that, because I just didn't want to be there. I
didn't
wanted
wanna
everybody
micromanage
to
and
get,
be
yeah, I just
right,
wanted
like,
everybody to do
everybody
their
have
job, and then it was just easy. I didn't want to have to tell nobody like you ain't been doing X, Y, Z. So
Yeah.
that was naturally
You
not
didn't
my
wanna
That's
be
crazy, 'cause I
Avis.
like that. I like that. I like a
And-
little
and-
structure.
And most people do, and I like I said, it was a fault of mine. But I think too, another thing that was hard for me and T when we started to advance in the podcast is because I changed a lot. I was
Okay.
going through a whole change like right before she came into my life, but it was my actions. It wasn't just me saying I wanted to change. My actions actually changed, or
Okay.
the things that I was doing was really changing, or the things that I wanted to be a part of was changing. So that was like a rocky place for us too.
So you still kind of finding yourself, your new self.
Yeah,
in a sense.
yeah.
You don't.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And
I
it was
got you.
weird because being that I'm new to her life, you know what I'm saying?
Seem
I'm
a-
just
seem a
meeting
little
one
rocky.
version.
Every- yeah,
Yes,
everything
I'm
seem like
meeting
a
one
little- yeah.
version. Now you switching to another version. I'm like,
Yeah.
this girl crazy.
Yeah, I got you.
Do you? So everybody, I'm pretty sure all of us have seen people say, "Oh, I got so much I want to say. I want to start a podcast. I
course.
want to." Yeah. Do you recommend somebody starting a podcast? Like, from me, from my standpoint, what I do within this podcast, I wouldn't just go out and say, "Yeah, go ahead and start one," because it's not that. It's far easier said than done. Would you like? What do you say to somebody that comes to you? I seen y'all podcast. I want to start one. Would you tell them like sternly, take a step back and think about what you want to do with this, that, and the third, or would you say, yeah, go ahead, just go right ahead and start it, and just let them,
bump their head.
Yeah, bump their head, like, cause I don't feel like there's a lot of realism or surrounding an operation.
Yeah.
You don't have to call it a podcast.
Yeah.
You're a business owner. You could say, your shop, just an operation. And a lot of people can't really fathom what it's like to run an operation.
Yeah.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? And they could be like, oh, it's easy, this, that, and the third. And you know what I'm saying? Don't micromanage or well the fuck. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to a person that comes to you, for the ladies out there?
Well, I would say that we didn't know either. We didn't know the operations of it either. I remember at one point in time, Coco told me, I didn't really see us this as a business per se. I seen it as us doing something that, like a hobby almost. So I would tell them to really think and know if they passionate about it, because it's not just sitting in front of a mic talking.
Yeah. Exactly.
It is a lot behind the scenes. It's a lot of organization. It is a lot of structure. It's a lot of commitment. It's a lot of financial.
Burning the midnight oil. And all that.
And you trial and error. We try this, try these mics, try that. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of putting in. And if you're not, that's why you see a lot of people start and don't finish.
Yeah.
Right.
And I see a lot of people I know. I was like, dang.
And you
They
see
started
them
for me, and I'm
grand
still,
opening, grand closing.
Yeah, like
Hey, the two words you use that resonate with me is business and hobby. Those two words are almost
describe
broke this whole thing.
Yeah.
up.
Very
Just to be,
synonymous with
you know
what
what
we
I'm
got
saying?
going on. And
Yeah.
But to piggyback off of that, like, that's great advice. I would say it's both though, because it's a great creative outlet. You know
Yes,
what I'm
it
saying?
is.
Like, it's great. So I couldn't necessarily discourage anybody who said that they want. If they ask me, I would tell them to go for it. But also, like you said, like, understanding there's more than just talking in front of a camera.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
lot, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot that goes into it that the people don't see. You know what I'm saying? And before you start doing it, you think it's easy because all you thinking about is just
Having fun.
Yeah, I'm just gonna talk about what I got going on.
Me and my girls or me
You know
and my
what I'm
boys,
saying?
we just
But,
gonna get together and have fun.
you know,
Yeah,
like,
and the
yeah.
conversation will run out quick when you think that's all you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
You really have to have
Exactly.
well thought out
Yeah.
thoughts, conversations.
I got a
topics.
fire topic.
Yeah.
How many times y'all get hit with?
How many times people hit y'all in y'all DM? I got a crazy topic.
I got a fire
Yeah, I got
topic.
a
Let me
topic,
on
yeah.
the show. Listen,
Man.
man. You know what I'm saying? It's almost cringy to a point, because like we understand the energy output that goes into this.
Yeah.
By the time you get through production, that all that energy you got to put into that fire topic, you gotta find it again. Like you don't have, like we don't have the luxury of, like, for example, like say a Breakfast Club who just come in there with a
sit
whole
down.
production
Yeah,
staff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can sit down and bask in your thoughts.
Yeah, you
Right,
know what
right.
you're talking
We
about.
have a
Like, you know.
whole process to go set up.
Yeah.
Production, editing, like finding your own creative points. Like
Finding
those
what days
people-
we gonna be able to
That's
shoot.
just like he
scheduling.
said. Just
those
like he
people
was saying
had,
earlier. It's like, both of them. I get nervous.
Yeah.
It's because my mind is burnt out on setting everything
you know
else
what I'm
that doesn't
saying?
happen
Yeah.
on camera.
Yeah.
Those people
So
have,
I can't even. I be just like brain clouded
Exactly.
by the time it's time to
Exactly.
talk.
That's why that is exactly why we are working on getting a team as we speak.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I feel like we burning out our creative oils.
Uh-huh.
Like
There you go,
When
exactly.
it come time to ask about the topic, we didn't have to think about what to do to make the camera better, the sound better, the this better, that.
you know.
So like, I don't think people be fully like thinking into it
They don't
when
be
they
fully grasping
not the
everything that go
concept.
into
Like
it. It's crazy.
It's because of social media too, though. Like, because
Yeah.
we're so used to and prone to being able to pick up our phones and just do what we want to
Yeah.
do.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody feel like everybody is not capable of having a full conversation,
Yeah.
outside of a camera. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So people think that on camera they'll be able to. And it's like, if we bring you on, are you gonna really be able to articulate
Right.
and have
And carry out a
and
conversation.
have a
Yeah.
real
You
conversation?
know what I'm
You know what I'm
saying?
saying? Like, so
Some like meaningful content.
yeah,
like,
meaningful
or,
content.
internet or social media worthy content, like
Yeah.
audience worthy content,
Yeah.
because it's definitely thinking about something to speak about. A topic that's literally the easiest thing to do.
right,
Yeah.
right.
It's easiest. Anybody can do it. It's free. But when it's time to actually put in the technical work, it's like you'll get like just consumed with.
Yeah.
Like some days I'll be in here and I'll just be like just sitting staring at this stuff like I don't know, I do not want to do this.
Yeah.
But I can't. I gotta keep. I got my man's like, hey man, what we gonna talk about? We gotta go. We gotta go.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I play a bigger role at, because I tell them in a minute, y'all suggesting these guests, suggesting these topics, like, is it gonna be meaningful content?
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, I don't want nobody that's gonna be coming up in here, sitting here, and they just mad at their baby mama, or they mad at they, you know what I'm saying? They mad at their baby.
For real though.
One event.
For real.
Yeah. And they just want an event. Like this ain't
Don't make us the
Not just one event, but they want a event and they want to be able to blast their baby mama on camera.
Now
Like,
you putting us in a conversation
In a
that
spot.
we don't need to be in. Like,
You thinking y'all generally speaking, and he's speaking specifically to
Yeah,
somebody
specifically,
else.
yeah.
Like, shit,
Brandy.
I tell people all the time, they hit my DM, hey, this not no woman bashing. Just because me and you cool, you not finna come on here and bash your girlfriend or your wife or your baby mama. Like that's not what we doing here.
And then generalize it like, well, I think women be like, no, that's
you,
your girl.
You mad at somebody.
Look,
That's
that's
your
your girl.
That's your woman.
Trying to rope us into everything.
Don't rope us in.
I just want to say to your question, I feel like you have to look at it like this. Whenever you work for yourself, which is what podcasting would be if you started your own podcast, I feel like people have this idea of freedom when you work for yourself, and it's really the opposite. Like me leaving being an entrepreneur in that capacity and being at a, like, what I'll say 9-to-5 type of job, I have more freedom in my 9-to-5 than I did when I was an entrepreneur.
Oh yeah.
And people have this idea that, oh, you just get to do what you want to do. No, you have to do what you have to do to even make it make sense. Like, you don't have anybody to say, okay, between these hours you're going to do this, between these hours you're going to do this. When you leave here, do this. You're the person that's saying, I have to get up.
Yeah.
I can't sleep all this because I'm an entrepreneur. I can't lay in the bed till 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Because if I don't do X, Y, and Z, if I don't go to this place that's going to be closed by this time, I'm not going to be able to do, like, you're the operation. You're coming up with the operation. So I think that's the part that people have to have in their mind when they get ready to say, I want to be an entrepreneur.
So I have a question. What caused the rebranding?
Just us not really knowing what direction we was going in from the beginning. Like, so we had to put some purpose behind it. I was like, we're gonna run out of conversation. We're gonna run out of little messy little topics to pull from the internet. That's not gonna last. Like, we need to find some purpose. So us branding of the conversations worth having, tag is us kind of just saying, like, we not just up here talking. Like, this not your.
We're not doing hot topics.
This not your run of the mill, like. No shade to people who pull up them hot topics and talk about the weekly stuff, but like this not that.
We wanted it deeper.
I got you.
But and I think too, because I think we started to. I know for me, I started to change a lot, and then T also, I think she started to feel like, okay, yeah, I get what you're saying, like, type of thing. Like, I kind of sensed that too. But like the conversations, we would just be like, this ain't really what we trying to do. Like, we don't want. This ain't what we want to be. Like, what we just did was cool. We had a guest. They came. We saw. We conquered. But at the same time, like, from week to week, is this what we want to sound like on the internet?
Like,
and
it started kind of getting stagnant. To a certain extent.
We had some of the same conversations. A question that I've always brought up to them is like, what kind of podcast do we want to be? What kind of content do we want to put out? You know what I'm saying? Everybody has a genre. They have a niche. They have what they want to do, what they want to put out. You know what I'm saying? And I feel that was one of the struggles that we had. If I feel like if you just do every little thing, in a way you tend to get lost. But also I had to check myself too on some things that just content wise and maturing, within the group.
Right.
It's a team.
It's definitely a team.
Yeah, I don't know, Albus, if you want to point out like some of our journey and struggles along the way.
It's hard, man. That's the best way I can put it, and the most simplest way I can put it. This shit is hard. It's not easy. It's not fun. If it looks cool, to be honest, it looks cool. To say when I first came up with the idea, because I started it. I came up with the idea, I pitched it to my man Ken right here. He said, we thought about it, and then I had already had my mind made up that I was gonna do it.
Yeah.
And at that point, when you start, purchasing things and, branding and trademarking and filing LLCs and shit like that, it's like, well, we can't stop now.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even in Houston at the time. I was living here, but I was working out of town. Okay.
So
I would be here for like a week.
Yeah.
The level of coordination is, and everybody's journey is going to be different. Like y'all's are different from ours. The next person different from the next person. So we were juggling scheduling. We still have scheduling issues. Everybody's got lives. For the most part, being able to, I'm an entrepreneur myself. So I have to juggle this along with my employees, my operation on a day-to-day basis. Like I work in the day and do this at night.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That alone is mentally exhausting. It's if I could just trade shoes with somebody that wanted to start a podcast, back to my question, I would say, well, just, don't do nothing permanent right now. Try it out. See how you like it with, like pitch a few videos to your family.
Yeah.
See what they think. Don't put everything on the internet first, because like you said, you see a lot of people start and they don't finish.
Yeah.
So if you put yourself out there and stick your neck out there, that's not to say don't try.
Yeah, it's not being discouraged.
There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things we do that don't make it to the internet.
Yeah.
And it's like we didn't. We didn't turn this place upside down before.
Yeah. I don't know if y'all noticed, but Rob wasn't even with us at first.
Yeah, Rob.
So I don't know if you want to speak on that, Rob, like your entrance into.
Yeah, so
he
got introduced, because he was this is my my friend from one of my best friends.
Okay.
Kennedy is my best friend. Like, we started with my other two friends, and like I said, life happens to people.
Yeah.
He wasn't even in Houston. My other friend, he's not in Houston. And it's just like, well, I don't think I could do it. We trying to book plane tickets.
Yeah. At that time, we was having trouble even getting people to the couch.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it was.
Yeah.
So how did Rob come about?
Rob came about when somebody else bowed out.
Yeah, I was doing like battle rap and rapping and other forms of entertainment, and I seen him doing his thing. I would support, you know what I'm saying, but I wasn't really, to be honest, I wasn't really big on like the podcast thing, like not necessarily.
We did this on Twitter.
I just wasn't watching podcasts. Yeah,
we was on Twitter. We was doing this on Twitter before podcasts.
Yeah. So
because we Facebook comedians.
When he reached out to me and with the idea, I was all for it, just for the simple fact that like I want to support what they had going on. Like it wasn't even about me being in front of the camera or anything like that, because like I said, I had did battle rap, I had did rapping, I had been in front of the cameras before, but I just loved like the setup and the idea of what they was doing, and I was like, well, like I look at it more so just having, for a lot of people that, this is the biggest thing that I would say when you doing a podcast, you have to have like y'all dynamic, like y'all were already,
a personal dynamic.
Yeah, personal dynamic. You have to have that, like. And I just look at it like we just talking shit in front of the camera. Yeah. Like we just doing everyday things that we do already. Yeah. You know what I'm saying, in front of the camera. So that's how I came about. I appreciate them giving me the opportunity to do it and things like that.
Believe it or not, my man is podcast material.
He is. To be honest, I thought he was gonna be the quiet one.
He be carrying a lot of this.
I thought he was gonna be like the
And I'm fortunate. I'm fortunate
I'm
enough
the dark one
to have both of them.
We bring the.
I'm fortunate enough.
Come on.
I got something that I going back to you guys. And you said earlier off camera, and I seen it on y'all page. But can y'all talk to us about like y'all separate things that y'all have going on with y'all documentations about like what's going on?
Our docuseries.
The docuseries.
Hey, that's
I
fire.
thought. Let me.
That how y'all got it set up and everything. But from what I can see on your page, I think
kudos to that.
T dropped first. Yeah, that's
before y'all
like
start that
fire.
though. Let me say y'all scared me because I thought y'all was breaking up.
Yeah, I did too.
I was like,
I'm glad it
I was
did what
like,
it was supposed to
because
do.
we be watching, and if I'm like,
That's
I
the
know they ain't
gag.
breaking up. I didn't say nothing. I'm like, oh, okay, that's what y'all.
That's what we was going
I was
with.
like,
That's
damn.
Yeah, 'cause
and it was like
I saw
right at
them.
2025. We made changes. Everybody's making changes.
'Cause look-
and it's like, oh, I guess they going their separate ways.
Real quick on camera, I told them when he said about y'all coming on, I said, but I looked at their page. Ain't they breaking up? Like they
Yeah,
like,
it was like,
with the Angela Yee.
That was fire though. So how they
But
came
we
up?
just
y'all
knew some
got
stuff
us.
was gonna be changing. Like we we wanted to go a different direction this year, just put more meaning behind it, and like starting off with the get to know us. I feel like that was the best way to like. We both talked about this. Like this is like the best way. Like we got on there talking about it's your girl Coco, it's your girl T. We are not y'all girls.
Exactly. Nobody knows us.
And we ain't like we came from an influencer page with 100,000.
Okay.
You know, people
so you feel like you needed more personality. That's something we.
And I feel like people vibe with you better when they know you, like
Yeah,
when they
yeah.
have some type of insight on your life.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like we needed
Look
to
at him,
step
amen.
from.
Been
Wait.
telling this nigga.
Yeah, like when you step from behind like just the everyday, the every week thing, the routines of just being on the podcast, coming to the couch, talking about a conversation. Like people want to know, okay, yeah, that conversation was cool, but like, who are you though?
Yeah.
Like what? Like
How she even know this? Like,
how are you walking out the conversations y'all having on camera?
exactly.
Like,
Because it's
we
almost
giving
like
you
you just
advice.
giving your opinion
Yes,
without me
that's
knowing
exactly.
who you is. But I would take more of your advice or be a
If
little
I
bit
knew.
more open to say like,
Exactly.
okay, well, I like T, or I like
Yeah,
Coco,
yeah.
because you know what I'm
how
saying.
she gonna tell me
Yeah.
about my marriage and
Yeah.
oh, okay, she married. Oh, okay, they do this. Oh, okay.
I got
So
you.
that type of thing, I think that's what it is, and that's why me and T, y'all get a little inside information. But we gonna keep that going. Like we gonna keep that series going. Like it's gonna be segments and parts to that series.
bro.
Like,
Okay, that's fire. Hey.
Yeah.
so y'all can kind of get an insight on who we are for real.
I mean, another year, you know, we still here, still pushing. Y'all still here, y'all still pushing this. That just also speaks to, you know, the grind, the struggle, because it's a struggle. When we turned a year, we started in October of 22.
Okay.
Yeah, we was
So,
doing Zoom calls.
We was doing like the Zoom
Yeah.
style thing. We outgrew that, and that was also a part of, you know, like my other friends
Yeah.
who just the schedules weren't lining up, so we moved from that, and then we was in my apartment
Shout
at
out
one
to
point
Joe,
in
man.
time.
Yeah.
Okay.
We went from my apartment. It's like, well, I'm finna transform, you know, a space in my building.
For y'all to record.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's steady making changes, and we steady evolving. We
Yeah.
have a lot of
Yeah,
evolvement
yeah.
to do now.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, shout out to y'all for that. Just maintaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
shout out
yeah,
to shout
facts,
out to us,
facts.
man.
Consistency.
Yeah.
You know, so
and blame black women too.
There you
know
go.
what I'm saying?
Nothing is
Like,
easy about
you
it.
feel
Yeah,
me?
that's
Like,
really
you know what I'm
nice.
saying? Like, and being able, because it's like you said, nothing is easy, and especially like when you giving your opinion on the internet. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
because the
People-
internet could be a very slippery
Dangerous
slope.
place.
Very,
dangerous.
Ain't
Yeah,
no-
there you go.
It is.
It's very-
It's
It
dangerous.
could be. It is.
It's
Especially
a
getting
dangerous
behind these
space.
mics, like
Yeah.
it's customer service. You want to
Yeah.
appease a certain audience, but you also want to be real and authentic.
give
You
your
don't
real
want to
opinion,
like,
yeah.
Yeah,
you don't
now-
want to.
definitely.
Yeah, and y'all know how our culture is, and now as black men, we have it's the stigma now. Oh, y'all gossiping on podcasts.
Yeah,
Y'all
yeah.
got podcasts now, so y'all gossip.
Y'all
like
being
it's-
sassy
We
now.
can't
Yeah.
do nothing. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
sassy.
saying? So you know,
We been here clocking that tea, man.
Can't do nothing,
But that's
man.
and we do things like that because me and Rob, we have this comedic type of image
Yeah.
on social media, so we don't care about that. People call us sassy. They said the name was sassy, you know, but and that's
Drama
fine.
Kings,
And it's very look. There you
She
go.
like, well, you know, they might not have been wrong about
It's a
that.
Z on the
That
Kings,
part.
though. But hold on, it's a Z on the Kings. But just to say, it's look, the internet
Okay.
is a dangerous place, you know. But yeah, we
Very.
gotta have thick skin just to
Yeah.
add to
Yeah.
what it
Yeah.
takes.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you have to have thick skin. People didn't call us, you know, all kinds of stuff because we
Man,
make.
I said what we was talking about the Diddy situation one time, and I was like,
it's-
you know, if it's grown women there and they are there willingly,
Now we just
now they talking about.
I don't know enough
plead
about
the
it.
fifth.
I
You gotta
gotta
be
say,
the
I
heart.
don't know.
You know, they talking
probably
about.
You
took
gotta
you
be a
under
lover
for
boy
that one.
like the heartthrob.
Yeah,
and
but you
just,
can't-
slide with the.
But I also
Side
feel
with
like
the
you need
women.
to be at least realistic
Yeah.
about
Yeah,
things
you know
and
what
just
I'm
be
saying?
yourself. You know,
Most
don't
definitely.
don't turn the cameras on and then turn into something else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
You
Like
know
if
what I'm saying? Don't do
yo, if these cameras gonna make your opinions change and who you are,
You shouldn't
as
be
a
doing
person.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, because you
Yeah.
gonna always be catering to what
Exactly.
the public feel about
You
you.
know-
but
Yeah.
and when you get to that point, you can't change.
And
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
people
Now
that
you
I would
can't-
advise not to get on here.
Yeah.
If you don't
Yeah.
really
You know
even
what I'm
already
saying?
know yourself
Yeah.
before you get on here, don't get on here because you're going to be
Yeah.
swaying with the
Facts.
wind.
Facts.
Mhm.
And
You
like
gonna
Coco
be
said
everywhere.
real quick, make sure you know enough about what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying?
That's a
And
fact.
if you don't know enough, then don't talk about it. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
Stay
Like,
away from
Because
those.
Ohio
stay
is
away
definitely
for
in the
it, you know what I'm
Midwest.
saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, look, we
He cooked me.
I'm digging on
He
it.
cooked me,
But
man.
we be at each other though.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all had that dynamic to where y'all just like, because sometimes we forget the cameras are on and we
Yeah,
get in
yeah,
here
But that's
and
what
get
makes
the
it fun, though.
Yeah.
And there you
Know what I'm
go.
saying?
You know, like I said, I
Facts.
was meant to say, I'm fortunate enough to have them to where they can carry where I'm falling short. And then he like, no, because he got it. Rob got it bad. No, I'm not gonna let you do that. I'm not gonna let you do that. No.
Because I just feel like that, you putting out, no matter what your audience, if you have 1,000 people or 100,000 people, you still are fortunate to have a platform that say something to people. So you have to be, you got to be mindful.
You have to have a responsibility.
You got to have
you know what I'm
saying? To your audience.
To your audience.
And I shout out to my boy Al. It felt good when he hit me up. He was like, man, you know what? Out of anybody else that I'm doing this with, I got to do it with you because you're well versed. It's not too many people that know a lot of stuff about a lot of different things than you do. So I kudos to because I'm gonna fall short. So I gotta, in my opinion, I have a responsibility to the podcast and what
to the masses of
what they feel about me in order to know what I'm talking about.
And it's hard. I'm gonna say this last thing. It's very hard to be in a space and have your own opinion and stand on your opinion 10 toes when other people are against your
when you
opinion.
got the mask
and if you've been following us,
we don't
been
care,
some things up here that I've been saying and these boys just don't necessarily agree with me. But if y'all go back through all the videos,
make sure you go through all of them.
If y'all do a tally and keep score, you will see how many times I didn't cook these boys.
You not.
On
I'm number one.
I'm definitely number one.
I'm number one. You go back.
Go back and judge for yourself.
Y'all make sure y'all go back and judge for yourself. Check out all the videos. Coco and T. Couple conversations.
Couple conversations, man.
Y'all heard it from them.
Got you.
From them. Make sure y'all check them out. Let the people know where they can find y'all at. What y'all Instagram handles, TikTok? I don't know about TikTok.
Yeah, we're on all platforms at Cup of Conversation. On Instagram it's Cup of Conversation with an _. YouTube, Cup of Conversation. When you type it in, we pop up, baby.
Yeah, we're gonna pop up before the underscore.
Ooh, we pop up, baby.
Hey.
Yeah.
She say we
got to put Coco and T. We up there.
Yeah.
Well,
y'all know where to find us.
Make sure y'all
man.
mess with them, man. Make sure y'all, make sure y'all
Thank
go
y'all.
like, share, subscribe, comment to all what they got going on and the Drama Kings, man.
For sure.
We definitely appreciate y'all coming through and kicking it with us.
Thank y'all for having us.
We're gonna keep this going. We 2025. We're gonna go deep with the guests.
Okay.
We kind of feel like we're ready for that. We've been trying to contemplate, and so for y'all to come through and knock it out like y'all did, y'all are excellent. But like y'all been here before, y'all know what y'all doing. Y'all know it's y'all. Y'all professionals at this point.
They came and clocked that
T. Drama Kings podcast. Check us out on all platforms, y'all. We gone.